Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance, and today we'll talk about Octavia, the Dominion's legendary Empress. We're going to walk through her kit in full, how her skills interact, what to prioritize when you build her, and which lineups and counters matter most. If you've ever watched a battle melt into chaos because every hit seems to miss and every miss turns into punishment, you've already met her influence. Octavia doesn't just support, she commands. Let's break her down and make her power work for you. First, a quick map of what's ahead. We'll start with her 4 skills, one by one. Then we'll cover items of rank, skins, glyphs, artifacts, gift of the elements and talismans. After that, I'll give you practical guidance on team usage and finish with the best counter picks and why they work. Keep in mind, the goal with Octavia is never just to survive. It's to turn every dodge into tempo, every tempo into damage, and every damage window into a decisive win. Starting with her first skill, Distortion of Fate. Octavia summons a large mirror behind her allies for 6 seconds. While the mirror remains, any time an ally dodges, the reflected image strikes back and deals physical damage to the enemy team. The power of this reflection scales with Octavia's health, which immediately tells you something about how to build her. The tankier she is, the harder the mirror punishes. This effect is especially cruel against opponents who rely on many small hits to stack pressure, fast basic attackers, multi-hit bursts, and chip damage comps. Each dodge becomes a counterstrike, and if you're already fielding heroes who naturally dodge, Dante, Yasmin, Heidi, Elmir, Dark Star, or Peach, the reflected punishment multiplies quickly. Distortion of Fate doesn't feel flashy in text, but in fights it bends momentum. The enemy thinks they're pushing, they're actually bleeding. Going to her second skill, Favorite of the Empress. At the start of battle, Octavia blesses the furthest forward ally she brought into the fight, increasing their dodge for 6 seconds. Eternity heroes receive an even stronger version of this buff. But the passive clause is what changes the game. Octavia's allies gain a chance to dodge even magic damage. That flips the old logic of dodge on its head. It no longer exists just to blunt physical attacks, it now threatens mages as well. This isn't limited to heroes who already stack dodge. Any ally can benefit, but those with native dodge skyrocket in value. Dante becomes a nightmare. Yasmin stays on target longer. Heidi slips through burst windows. Elmir and Dark Star grow harder to pin down. Even Aurora's already evasive style becomes more frustrating to face. The immediate buff to the frontmost ally sets your early tempo, but the passive is the system change. Your whole team starts playing by different rules. Then, we have her third skill, Moment of Concentration. Octavia applies an armor penetration buff to all allies for 3 seconds. In addition, each time an ally dodges any damage, they receive the same buff again. On paper, this looks simple. In practice, it's explosive. Against teams that attack frequently, the armor penetration refreshes nearly non-stop. Heroes who don't innately carry armor penetration, Dante and Yasmin are the perfect examples, suddenly slice through frontliners as if those defenses weren't there. The loop with Distortion of Fate and Favorite of the Empress is what makes this skill brutal. Dodges are happening more often, which means more armor penetration windows, which means faster breaks, which means more reflected finishes. And when Dante's Foresight adds spectral spears into that same loop, you get the picture. Dodge creates pressure, pressure creates damage, and damage shortens the fight before your opponent can stabilize. Finally, her fourth skill, Imperial Guard. As long as the allies Octavia started the battle with are still alive, she cannot be directly targeted by skills or attacks. On top of that, whenever her allies dodge, both the Guard and Octavia gain 50 energy. That means the very thing your enemies need to do, keep attacking, feeds her. The more they swing, the faster she cycles back into mirrors and penetration windows. Octavia stays tucked safely behind her lines while her team's evasion fuels her ability cadence. Once you understand that rhythm, you stop thinking of Octavia as a passive support and start treating her as a conductor. The party plays to her tempo. Now let's talk about how to build Octavia. She is a support hero, belongs to the Way of Eternity faction, and stands on the backline, actually behind even your usual backliners. That extreme positioning means she's often out of reach unless your front line collapses. Your job in the build is to keep her hard to punish while maximizing the payoff of each dodge. Items of rank. In the violet tiers, aim for pieces that push health and physical scaling together: Blade Bow, Selena's Sickle, and Archangel's Wrath. Those let you nudge her offensive scaling for Favorite of the Empress and Moment of Concentration while not neglecting survivability. When you reach the orange tiers, focus on Ruler's Globus, Unity of Extremes and Song of the Valkyries. By orange +3 or +4, you've given her the baseline she needs, sturdy enough that her mirror's damage is meaningful and her presence lasts through the mid-game spike. Now her skins. Octavia has 6, the default agility skin, 2 physical attack skins, 1 with A+ version, a health skin, a dodge skin, and a magic defense skin. The right priority respects how her kit scales. First, take physical attack. That's your direct fuel for Favorite of the Empress and Moment of Concentration. Then take the second physical attack skin for the same reason, this pair is your engine. Third, pick up the default agility skin. It adds offense while quietly beefing up her armor. Fourth, invest into health. This directly scales Distortion of Fate and keeps her standing long enough to cycle. Fifth, add dodge, a nice defensive layer that also helps the mirror loop. Last comes magic defense, not bad, but least necessary because Imperial Guard protects her from most directed magic interactions while your team is alive. If she ever gets another physical attack or health skin later, it jumps to top priority immediately. Glyphs. Octavia's 5 are physical attack, dodge, health, magic defense, and agility. First, push health. It's the best pure multiplier on mirror damage and keeps her in the fight. Second, dodge, because more dodges equals more armor penetration triggers and more energy gains. Third, physical attack, directly powering her offensive buffs. Fourth, agility, for a balanced bump to offense and light durability. Fifth, magic defense, useful when needed, but generally the lowest impact for her role. For pacing, level them to 40 for mid-game efficiency, and push beyond that when you're chasing class bonuses. Artifacts. Her weapon artifact grants team-wide dodge when she uses Distortion of Fate. Her book artifact boosts dodge and health. Her ring increases agility. Prioritize the book first, it's the cleanest, most reliable increase to her survivability and output loop, because both Distortion of Fate and her overall uptime scale with those stats. Take the weapon second, a timed dodge spike during the mirror amplifies the punish window. Ring comes last, not worthless, but the smaller returns compared to book and weapon make it a finishing touch, not the foundation. Gift of the Elements. Max it. Focus agility and physical bonuses. Even as a backliner, Octavia collapses if you underinvest, and a collapsed backline ends her mirror cycle. Simple rule, a living Empress is a winning Empress. Talismans. Her first talisman grants agility and health. Her second grants toughness and physical attack. Both are excellent. The agility plus health talisman leans into survivability and mirror scaling, the toughness plus physical attack talisman makes her harder to burst and strengthens her offensive triggers. If you only have one early, grab the agility plus health for stability. When you add the second, you'll feel the curve. Now, practical usage and team notes. Octavia is the anchor for dodge-centric play. If you're already investing in Dante, she's not optional, she's optimal. Dante's native dodge, his foresight spears, and Octavia's armor penetration loop combine into a sustained pressure pattern most teams cannot heal through. Add Yasmin for focused removal or Heidi for relentless pure damage ticks that ignore armor completely. Elmir's sand copies contribute distraction and extra hits that bait attacks into dodges. Dark Star brings control to keep targets in bad positions while enabling more basic attack pressure. Eternity heroes get bonus treatment under favorite of the Empress, and that matters for team resilience. Morrigan's defensive matrix, higher armor and magic defense for Eternity allies, healing interactions, and skeletons absorbing portions of damage, pairs with Octavia's dodge aura to make your frontline feel sticky. When your frontline lives, Octavia stays untargetable via Imperial Guard. When Octavia stays untargetable, your dodge loop never shuts off. That's the real picture. Octavia doesn't deliver a single spike, she delivers sustained inevitability. A quick note on tempo. Octavia's best fights are the ones where you deny your opponent's first big thing. You don't need to dodge every hit. You just need to dodge the hits that matter while your mirror and armor penetration punish the enemy for trying. The longer the exchange, the more the loop pays out. If your comp dies early, the engine never starts. If your comp lives 20 seconds, it snowballs. Build and draft with that clock in mind. Now the counters, because nothing is unbeatable, and Octavia has real answers against her. Satori is the cleanest hard check. Octavia's team gains energy on every dodge through Imperial Guard. Satori's Fox fire marks punish energy gain. If you keep Satori alive and protected, the very loop that empowers Octavia turns into a countdown against her team. Pair Satori with Astaroth for safety and Anvari to block displacement, together they stabilize your field, and deliver the punish at the right moment. Pure damage ignores dodge. Heidi and Maya, backed by Nebula, can cut through all the evasive theatrics and simply remove targets. That matters in two ways. First, you can drill down the frontmost anchor to break Imperial Guard's protection. Second, you can force Octavia's team to spend healing resources on ticks they can't avoid. Control shuts dodge off at the source. Tempest, Leanne, and Faceless run combinations that lock key threats during their offensive windows. When the enemy can't act, they can't dodge. When they can't dodge, Octavia's loop loses its engine. Tempest also punishes over-aggressive timing with stuns that reset momentum. Use that to push through the mirror's uptime. A few tactical reminders when you're fighting Octavia. Don't bet everything on many small hits unless you're specifically leveraging pure damage or control behind it. Don't feed her loop with sloppy target selection. If you can isolate, isolate. And don't forget the untargetable clause. Sometimes the correct play is to break the front line quickly so you can finally touch the Empress and end the cycle at its source. Let's wrap with priorities, so you can act immediately. If you're building Octavia from scratch, rank items to orange +3 or +4, book artifact first, weapon second, ring last, skins, both physical attack, then agility default, then health, then dodge, then magic defense, glyphs, health, dodge, physical attack, agility, magic defense, gift of the elements to max, talisman 1, agility plus health, before talisman 2, toughness plus physical attack, if you must choose. For teams, start with Dante cores, consider Yasmin or Heidi for finishers, and bring Eternity allies to exploit the stronger opening buff. That package will give you immediate results. And that's it for today, Guardians. Octavia is not a side piece, she's a system. Play around her, and you'll feel fights tilt in your favor long before the final blow lands. Manage the mirror, respect the dodge loop, and capitalize on every armor penetration window. She rewards players who understand tempo and punishes opponents who refuse to adapt. What do you think about Octavia? Have you tried her with Dante, or tested her with eternity-heavy lines under Morrigan? Tell me your best wins, your worst losses, and your smartest counters in the comments. If this breakdown helped, like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell so you never miss a guide, and share this with your guildmates. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and as always, salute and friendship.